Argentina win their first game under Michael Cheika, 26 points to 18 over Scotland. First game back in Argentina in about 3 years. Good crowd, beautiful day, and yeah, pretty entertaining game, I thought. We'll go through some key events, some stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. Like I said, good crowd, and there was some pretty keen Scottish fans there as well. To be honest, there were some bagpipes playing and some singing I could hear. So yeah, for me to get up at 7 in the morning, I was actually up before that, but sit down to watch this one. It was certainly a good start to my day. Good start for the Argentinians as well. 3 points from the breakdown. Juan Martin Gonzalez getting in there and winning a penalty for his team, so 3-0. And pretty much all Argentina out of the blocks. I guess they were really feeling the boost from the crowd and finally being back home. They just came out of the game. They came out of the blocks really flying. But they couldn't quite capitalize on all that energy with Pablo Matera kind of knocking on when they were really knocking on the Scottish defensive lines. And then the Scots get a scrum penalty not long later after that knock on, so they're kind of able to get a free exit, piggyback themselves up the field with a series of penalties, about three in a row, and then kick themselves a penalty as well to settle things down a bit. 3 points apiece. That being said, the Scots kind of had a few difficulties with restarts, and people talk about restarts being kind of like the other set piece, right? Along with your scrums and your lineouts, you need to get your restarts right, and Scotland's restarts on the receiving end cost them some points in this game. This one was Darcy Graham with his foot on the line. Catching the restart means it's Argentinian ball, and from the resulting play, an Argentinian penalty. So 6-3, Argentina back in front. Remember, Sanchez is doing the goal kicking at this point, but not long later, he goes off with a seeming leg injury, which is kind of crucial because it means Boffelli has to start doing the goal kicking. And although when I've watched him for Edinburgh, he seemed to be relatively consistent. With Argentina last year, he was remarkably inconsistent, and it's the inconsistent Boffelli we got in this game. He didn't kick many of the ones, but he kicked enough. They get a scrum penalty, which was kind of encouraging for the Argentinians because I wasn't sure how their scrum was going to go. They had been pinged earlier, but scrum penalty, Boffelli has a shot. That one goes wide, so not the ideal start. Scotland reply with a penalty of their own, an Argentinian neck roll, and they get that one, so 6 points apiece. So kind of, I guess, for the first quarter, bit of an arm wrestle. I would say Argentina a little bit disappointed. They maybe couldn't convert a little bit more on the chances they had. They're probably a better value than an even scoreline. But on the flip side, you'd say the Scots did well to take the chances that they had. That being said, we do get some tries in the second quarter of the match. Geronimo de la Fuente gets the first one. Some good carries from the Argentinians. They were really starting to play with some fire at that point. Petty with a big carry, Crema as well. So some of the important Argentinian forwards helping them get over the advantage line, and de la Fuente is the one who finishes it off. Didn't look like he had initially got it down, but the ref was right there and ruled that it was all good. Missed conversion, kind of a poor strike, so 11 points to 6. And then another try though, Carreras. So much Argentinian play, man. And this one was Malia with the line break into Cordero. Duan van der Merwe with a scrambling kind of try-saving tackle, but Carreras is able to get there to the back of that ruck and just dot over. So quick play from him as well. They do get that conversion. It's his best kick so far. So 18 points to 6. And it's looking like it's going to be a pretty horrendous day at the office for the Scots if this momentum continues, because, as I said, the crowd by that point are really right behind them. And then the Scots, when they finally get some ball, man, they're looking at sixes and sevens. Kinghorn's pass to Sam Johnson just goes behind his back, so it's loose ball. The Argentinians kick it through. All Duan van der Merwe can do, again, in a sweeping defensive action, which is not really what he's in the team for. Not his primary responsibility anyway. He has to kick it dead. So, Scotland did manage to win a breakdown penalty to kind of get themselves out of jail. Matt Fagerson with that one. So they go into half-time 18-6. And the momentum's all Argentina. They've done really well in that first half. They've had 66% possession. They've had 78% territory. The Scots have actually knocked it on more times than the Argentinians, despite the fact that they've had no ball. So, yeah, it's a pretty good performance from the Argentinians. They'll maybe be a little bit disappointed they weren't further in front. But you got to give credit to the Scottish defence, and at the key moments, their scrum and their breakdown got them out of dodge. Second half, it's the Argentinians who start kind of under the pump. They get pinged a few times offside from the initial kick when they're trying to kind of clear their lines. The Argentinians, the Scottish have got a line out. It's a weird moment because the Argentinian guys kind of tap it back. Duan van der Merwe, who's had very little to do ball in hand, tries to kind of slap the loose ball down. It was worthy of a look by the TMO. Nick Berry just seems to be like, nah, it's Argentinian ball. The TMO does ask him eventually to have a look at it, like very sheepishly, like, do you not want to have a look at that? They do have a look at it, and they ruled that he did get a hand to it, Duhan, but they rule it as a knock-on. So it's an Argentinian 5-metre scrum. The Argentinians win a resulting scrum penalty, so kind of get a free exit from that one. And like I said, I do think the Argentinian scrum performed admirably because it's not been an area of strength for them. Xander Fagerson was the one who got pinged in that one, so he does concede, I think, a couple of penalties in this game, which has been an area for him to work on for sure. But yeah, Scotland get the first points of the second half, and there's kind of a quick fire double. Bennett gets one, and Hutchinson gets the other. Kinghorn has got a hand in both of them. There's this real kind of block of play where it's just all Scotland, isn't it? 47 minutes. It's a maul. They get advantage. Kinghorn, like, he's the kind of guy, once he gets advantage, you can really feel the confidence levels rise because it's a free shot. His wide pass is a thing of beauty. Bennett with a good finish, so 18 points to 11. And then on 53 minutes... again, it's Kinghorn running wide and getting the ball to Hutchinson. So, yeah, man, 18 points to 18. Out of nowhere, Scotland are suddenly back level after being absolutely under the pump in the first half. But with all that momentum, it absolutely comes to a grinding halt pretty much from the restart from that second try. They've just gotten even. Well, look at the timing of these tries, 48, 54, and then 57. Because from the restart, Boffelli, whose boots have not been that good from his kicks, they certainly got him airborne because he's able to pinch the restart, and that gives Argentina a platform in Scotland's half. And with the resulting pressure, Bertranou is able to kind of dot down. Bertranou, who wasn't even supposed to be starting, I forgot to mention that Kubeli pulled out in the warm-up. So he's the only halfback in the team. He didn't even have a halfback on the bench as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, he has to play the whole game, but he dots it down. The TMO did have to have a look at it because it was kind of touch and go, but he gets the ball on the line, so back in front. 23 points to 18. Another missed conversion. Scotland do get their chances to go down the other end. Not opting for three. Argentinian maul defence is a wee bit better. Kinghorn tries one of those sweet wide passes again, but this time it's forward. It was close, but he couldn't kind of get that third try assist. 70 minutes, Scotland penalised for not rolling away. Argentina opt for a 3, and this time Boffelli, he does get that important one because it makes it a 2-score lead. And that one, to be fair, Kinghorn did make a couple of mistakes. I mean, he sets up those 2 tries beautifully, but that one kind of all came from him kicking a touch finder out on the full. So, you know, when you trace the history of those points back, that's where it kind of comes back to. 73 minutes, Carreras has his own opportunity to kind of kill off the Scottish game, but he kicks it dead. So they're kind of unable to extend their lead beyond 26-18. Interestingly, when it gets to 80 minutes, the ref's like, right, time's up. If you want to tap it and kick it out, the game will be over. But the Argentinians, they keep attacking. They want to keep going. But the Scots are able to kind of shut them down at line-out time. So, yeah, good intent shown from the Argentinians. The Scots did have that kind of one period where they were absolutely on fire, but they kind of fluffed it just... with that restart. And like I said, there's a couple of times when restarts, like Graham's one, and then allowing Boffelli to get the other one, which directly cost, the Scottish guys, 10 points or so. So, yeah, good game from the Argentinians at home. Run meters 392 to 206, pretty dominant. Possession kind of evens out, 53-47. So a lot better than the first half compared to what it was for the Scots at the first half. Territory 61-39, kind of similar story. Clean breaks finishes 5-1. So the Argentinian attack just that bit sharper. Remember, I mean, the Scots are without Russell and Hogg and Harris, so it's maybe to be expected. But, Kinghorn, when he's on fire, he can certainly unlock that defence. But, a couple of misses. But, I mean, Carreras also had a couple. He kicked it dead a couple of times. Turnovers conceded 13-8. That's another one where the Scots don't want to be leading that stat, but they are. Penalties conceded finishes 10 apiece. Kremer makes 10 from 10 tackles on a good defensive shift from him. Don't know if he conceded any penalties either, which is a bonus. Malia, 92 metres, a clean break, 2 defenders beaten. Not bad at all. Carreras comes off the bench to take the place of Sanchez. And his running game does kind of add that bit of spark, doesn't it, when you got an outside back? Kind of like Kinghorn, I guess. Running the show at 10. 7 runs, 50 metres, clean break, 2 defenders beaten. Not bad. Kinghorn does finish with those 2 try assists. Duan van der Merwe was kept pretty quiet. 2 runs, 3 metres. Got that big strike weapon. He doesn't get hardly any ball. Bradbury, 12 from 13 tackles on a defensive shift from him. But yeah, like I said, Argentinian scrum was kind of better than I expected. I was kind of half expecting the Scots to be able to turn the screws there, but no, it wasn't to be. So, we will see how things go in the next one. It's pleasing that it's a 3-match series this time. Often when teams go to Argentina, it's a 2-match series, but not 3 matches. We'll see how the one goes next week, and if these teams will continue to have a pretty close battle, and we'll see kind of what happens with the injuries. If Bertrand is going to start again, he was man of the match, so I would imagine he does, but if Kubeli's fit, maybe not. We'll see. You guys have any thoughts? I'm off to watch South Africa and Wales, which was on at 3 in the morning over here, so I missed that one, but I don't know the result, so I'm going to go back and watch it now. Alright guys, you take care. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.